have here Gamebreak0r and Szchu. And this is round 4 too, right? So this is the last round of the day for the winners bracket. Again, I saw some people popping up in chat asking what's going on. What's this for? This is World's Qualifiers. This is the top 64. The top 64 is played as a double elim bracket to get us down to the top 16 between all the regions. So there's going to be 6 players from America that end up getting chosen. So the top 4 from the winners bracket make it. The top 2 from the bottom losers bracket makes it. And we're only playing 4 of the rounds today. So 4 rounds in the losers, 4 rounds in the winners. This is the 4th
5 rounds
in
the losers.
Is it 5? Oh, yes, 5 rounds in the losers. 5 rounds in the losers, 4 rounds in the winners. So we'll still have some games after
brackets
this.
are kind of hard to visualize. But we'll get through it. Don't worry. Nobody's going to qualify today. You're not going to see anybody secured for the top 16 of the World Championship just yet. All of that will come tomorrow. And you can check back in again tomorrow, and it'll all be right here on JDoza's stream.
4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, baby. Let's go. And yes, 6 players qualify from NA, 5 from EU, 5 from Asia and SEA. Asia and SEA and EU, top 2 from the winners bracket and the top 3 from the losers bracket, respectively.
So, Sivir, Demacia, Mir. We were kind of hoping to dodge these, and we have been unsuccessful.
Yeah, this is a deck. It still exists. It's a thing. We're not getting rid of it.
Debating the attack with the Vagabond, not really wanting to run into a sharp sight, but saying maybe we do it anyway. For the Vine.
For the Vine. Do it for the gram.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, nothing out of Gamebreak0r. And now the waters have been tested, right? That would have been a pretty okay sharp sight or combat trick or anything like that. But we get the Merciless Hunter. But we have the Bright Steel Protector, the high-octane action of the Sivir, Demacia, JDoza. Can you handle it? Typing the chat. There's cool stuff going on screen. You played a Merciless Hunter and it was countered by a Bright Steel Protector. What do you do? Delete that.
Listen, I'm trying to help the community, all right? Trying to help my boy Trevo out, all right? I feel like the way that the qualifiers are set up are definitely confusing, so I want to make sure that everybody is kept abreast of the situation, make sure they know what's going on. Nobody will qualify today. We're only playing 4 rounds. We're playing 4 rounds.
NA qualifies differently because it's 6 people. So
yeah, NA does qualify differently, yes.
So do they not qualify people today?
Yeah, NA, nobody's going to qualify today.
Well, if you play 4 rounds in the winners bracket and you only have to go 4-0, then you would qualify 4 people today.
You have to go 6-0.
Are you sure about that?
Not entirely, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure nobody that is going to
argue about it when NA comes out, but I think Trevo might actually be right on this one.
So 4 people will have 4 people. Man, I hate the way this is set up. This is so ridiculous.
It's difficult to explain, but we'll explain that later. Right now, EU's happening. Don't worry about America's later.
Yeah, see if...
so it looks like we're going to get a really big attack here on the side of Gamebreak. You're going to try to even up the life total. Nothing too high impact on the side of Szchu. Only 3 mana left, so we do have Sharp Sight and Shavestone if we want to do that. But at the moment, it looks like the trades are pretty unavoidable for Szchu. Is just going to have to take all of the deaths of all of these units. Unless we really want to Sharp Sight this Vagabond, but that doesn't seem like the best use of a Sharp Sight.
All right, some damage coming in from Gamebreak0r as well. Akshan gonna tick that landmark down just a little bit. And Rune Runner off the top. You know, it's funny. We've seen a lot of these Sivir Akshan decks today. I think we only saw Rune Runner 1 time prior to this. Not really.
I almost got to a point where, like, internally, I was questioning if they had just cut Rune Runner.
I highly doubt it.
Especially since Alan was playing some other cards, like the 5/5, that I think like gives a lucky find or something.
I mean, maybe Rune Runner's at 2 now. I mean, that could be the consideration. Maybe that's why
we still have seen plenty of Rune Runners end games, though, and it looks like going to have a similar line here. But yeah, I mean, with the Absolver being played in just about every Demacia Sivir that we've seen thus far, it's not out of the question that Rune Runner was cut from the deck as we have access to other Overwhelm. What is this? What are these? Is it single combat concerted strike onto Sivir? Is it double single combat onto Sivir? Is it
Nice.
2 Mystic Shot? That'd be wild, wouldn't it? 2 Mystic Shot coming out of a Shurima Demacia deck. Oh,
Nope.
imagine the scandal.
Concerted
No, it's just single combat
strike.
concerted strike. I was right the first time. I should have stopped after that.
As per usual, all the combat tricks in the world coming out here. And gonna, yeah, actually pop the spell shield and get rid of the Sivir. We'll see if we get some sort of response. We could double Sharp Sight to save this. Yeah, we don't have enough mana for that. So I think we just lose the Sivir here. And that means that Gamebreaker is also going to keep their Sivir and also really get super close to the level up, right? I mean, this Sivir is going to be almost at level 2 here. Not many cards in the hand of Gamebreaker, but...
Yeah, we are also going to level the Akshan, which is going to prompt the Shaped Stone onto the Rune Runner. So that nerf really taking effect here, right? Previously, you wouldn't have had to use any combat tricks to save it, and it would have just run over the Akshan. But we are going to have to use it now. And as a result of the other nerf, we are not pushing as much damage as we previously would have. So Szchu really feeling the nerfs in this interaction.
All right, here we go. Relic of Power. We'll see what Gamebreaker decides to grab here. It's really going to depend, I think, on if Gamebreaker has any more units. Because, I mean, this is what we've seen before in the past where some of these Sivir Akshan decks kind of just get, you know, bogged up with a lot of spells in hand and no units. As long as you have one unit on board with Spell Shield, generally you're in a pretty okay spot. But when you're in the mirror match, you know, you really have to have those additional units. There is a Fleet Feather, which if we're throwing Fleet Feather down, I gotta think we have another unit to activate the Challenger. And that's going to be a pretty big deal, especially if we can pick off this Ruin Runner Boulevard.
Ooh, this looks like it might... Ugh. Your hand, you already have sort of the Concerted Strike. I think the only thing you'd really like to find is a single combat so that you can pull the same trick that Gamebreaker just did, and skipping is a very unlikely way to find that.
All right, we have a Sivir as well. Another Sivir, I should say, for Szchu. That is now leveled. So Szchu got the advantage there, but another unit for Gamebreaker. This is going to be pretty big. Now, with that said, we do have a Concerted Strike, so we can deal with possibly one of these units. Not a lot of these units are great Concerted Strike targets, though. We don't have a way currently to deal with the Spell Shield on Sivir. So that's kind of what we wish we could use Concerted Strike on right now. Not going to happen. So this is going to be one heck of an attack coming in here. We could save the Ruin Runner with something like a defensive Sharp Sight. We've seen... I'm just saying.
Well, it's got vulnerable, so Sivir's going to attack it, right?
Possibly, yeah. I'm just saying.
We would have to use both Sharp Sight and the Absolver.
We saw Alan earlier actually use a lot of the offensive spells on defense and still pull away a victory. So I'm just saying, don't discredit that strategy right now, okay?
I think what we're looking at is a Szchu lethal that involves just playing Sivir post-combat, throwing the Absolver and Absolver returns onto it, and punching through the 5 HP of Gamebreaker.
Yep.
So it's looking like we're not going to have enough damage. I think no matter how you shake it up, we're going to be one shy of lethal because of the Shaped Stone nerf on the side of Gamebreaker. I think we can only push through 12 damage if we have Shaped Stone. And maybe that's what we're lining up for here, is we're actually going to pull the other units, but Shaped Stone's still only 12. So no lethal going to be found by Gamebreaker on this turn, but it doesn't matter if Szchu loses the entire board.
Wow, yeah. Yep, if Szchu's got no units left, this was exactly what I was talking about before. These spells in hand are going to be useless if you don't have anything to play them on. There's the level on the side of Gamebreaker as well, going to give everything quick attack. Not going to help for the Fleet Feather Tracker, unfortunately, but a lot of damage pushed through as well. At 3 health. Both players very low. So, now what I will say is Szchu's got the attack token. So, we'll see what we can do here. We do have all these buffs. We could probably just open attack here. We got plenty of mana to play everything in hand. This is looking to be lethal. Yeah, and then a Shaped Stone as well. Wow.
Yeah, Absolver return seems to be, you know, sort of the card of the day in terms of just being able to sneak through these victories. I think another single combat Concerted Strike would save Gamebreaker, but you probably would have thrown it out there instead of losing most of your board, and it looks like the Absolver's return is going to come out. Check the eye, see if that's lethal. It is, and Gamebreaker is going to surrender game number 1.
All right, Szchu going up 1-0 here, baby. So, what a matchup, man. This is what we wanted. This is what we expected from Worlds Boulevard, right? These incredible matchups. Jeez.
And it just didn't matter. Imagine if this deck didn't get nerfed, man.
Oh man. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Yeah, this would be,
Yeah,
it'd be
was
even
that
worse to watch right now.
everyone
Jeez.
said, you know what? I already put all this testing into it. I don't care if you nerfed it. I'm running it back. I'm still
Yeah.
bringing it.
Yep. Everybody
Oh,
playing it.
okay. Hold on. Let me break out the pen and paper again.
All right. Bandle tree. Boulevard's on it. He's on the cage track in the tree.
I really need to shorthand these regions in a way that is legible.
And the winner of this will advance to day 2, essentially, and play the winner of Grand Rodeo and Ragnarosik. So, we'll see how this turns out. Going into game 2 here, can Szchu take a 2-0 victory over Gamebreak0r? Can Gamebreak0r pull it back and avoid having to drop down into the loser's bracket?
Yeah, Szychu qualified as the second highest player on seasonal tournament points, unable to secure a top 4, but consistently topping the seasonal tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Can he make it all the way here in the World's qualifier stage, or will he fall shy just again?
The way you said
it should have been fall just shy again, but I already said, you know, I
you got to go with it. Yeah, you just got to go with it.
Yeah, you
double
just got
down.
to play it. Anyway, Bandle City's been played. Cross that off the list. We're at 1 out of 10, everybody. 1 out of 10.
All right, here we go. Sharp Sight going to be able to stuff this elusive Bandle Commando. That's actually pretty good. You even save your unit. So I think that's actually a pretty big first play there in the beginning of the game for Gamebreak0r. Also going to be able to keep units to continue to pressure damage onto Szchu and try to close out the game early. Because as we know, if Szchu starts to get things online, we get this Bandle City Mayor down, we play these cheap units, we go wide, we have these chump blockers. It's going to be really hard later on in the game for Gamebreak0r to really, you know, continue to stay in control and push damage. So yeah, we're already hovering Bandle City Mayor. We know exactly what we want to do this turn. Boulevard, Szchu tossing it down. And Loping Telescope, yeah, that seems like a pretty damn good option there. We are going to go with it, and we can play it even this turn alongside Fizz if we want to.
Yeah, this is a lot of regions getting played for Szchu. We actually... Have we confirmed if Szchu plays Bandle Tree? I don't remember if he's drawn it yet at this point. I think we've only seen him win through damage thus far.
Good point. I mean,
I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume he does, but it is a little funny.
I don't think you're playing the Noxus version if you're not playing Tree, right?
No, he's definitely playing Tree, but
yeah.
It was a joke. Thanks for overanalyzing.
Yeah, your jokes are bad, Boulevard. That's what that means.
Great job there, man. Anyway, here comes the Fleet Feather Tracker. That's a more impactful 2-1 than the Fizz is going to be. And the Bandle City Mayor was getting a decent amount of value for Szchu. Wouldn't like to lose that, but does have to use the Buster Shot onto the Auction. It is a higher priority target. And the Fleet Feather Tracker doesn't have Challenger yet, so we can wait until something is played next turn. But here comes single combat.
I like this from Gamebreak0r. Again, I do think Bandle City Mayor is one of the priority targets in this deck. You need to, you know, kind of avoid them being able to go wider faster, which is what we already saw here in this one turn alone. We do have Poro Sled. Again, this card keeps coming up all the time as one of the cards picked up. And might come in big here.
I just caught up on chat where Manasia apparently thinks I live the kind of life where I have 10 different colored pens lying around.
Yeah, that's easy. Why aren't you on that level of casting Boulevard? What is wrong with you? Really?
Because just writing down the regions and then crossing them off as they get played gets even better, because then, you know, I you know what people want Bandle Tree to do. I see all of the regions that are left.
You got Boulevard drawing rainbows here behind the scenes.
Sparkly.
I knew there was something wrong with you. I knew it when I first met
What's
you.
wrong? What does that mean? Thanks, Manasia. You've divided the casters. How could you? Ooh, mini morph. Kind of an awkward pickup. The high priority targets have spell shield, and we don't have the pokey stick or group shot to pop through that just yet.
Yeah, mini morph, you know, hovered quickly, but not gonna use it here. Doesn't seem like it's really the highest value that you're gonna get from it, so I do like that. Using the Lucky Find, we'll see how much luck Gamebreak0r has. What we pull, and it's gonna be tough. All right, that's not bad actually. Yeah.
Do you ever Scorched Earth this? Well, no, probably not on one, but in general, do you ever try to Scorched Earth the Palace to deny the Auction level?
I honestly, possibly, yeah. If it was higher and you know your opponent doesn't have targets, then sure, yeah.
It's probably more important to kill units, though, right?
I mean, honestly,
as cheeky as it is,
especially with the Vecron on field, I mean, that's Scorched Earth probably is going to do pretty good. You know, it's going to get pretty good value here. You know, we already used the Lucky Find on it. We used the barrier on it. We want to try to kill it, so maybe that's what we see this turn. Not going to be able to utilize the barrier, though. So Gamebreaker really just using that Bright Steel Protector to just get that target, get the card in hand.
Group Shot's a nice pickup here.
Sloping Telescope. What are we manifesting today?
Ooh.
Shark Trainer.
Messenger looking pretty good. Shark Trainer. I think. Have you ever taken a Shark Trainer off of a Sloping Telescope?
Hey, I like crazy cards. All right, it would have been nice to see Shark Trainer played. But no, Messenger actually, and it's funny too. A lot of these cards we're not used to seeing Celestial-wise. We're starting to see pop up more often. One of those is the Messenger here, right? I mean, we've seen it in a few games now pop up off of just some manifests. So
yeah, it's looking like Gamebreaker doesn't have any of their champions though, and this deck plays so differently when you don't have Sivir, when you don't have Ruin Runner. Merciless Hunter is only half a champion now. I think they've kind of been demoted, kind of like when what was their name? The Battle Angel.
Radiant Guardian.
Radiant Guardian. When Radiant Guardian, RIP, went down to a 4/5, kind of lost the champion status.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, Merciless Hunter basically killed most champions that were as strong as it. So feels bad, man. But Shape Stone, all right.
Ooh, ensure that we get the kill onto the Poros Sled.
See, that card matters. I'm telling you, Poros Sled, one of the better pickups. Honestly, it's crazy how much work that card puts in. So we are going to prioritize getting rid of it.
I have never been a denier of the.
Just saying.
Of the Poros Sled, but we actually get a really impactful landmark here in the Minefield. That is so good in a matchup like this because it goes through Spell Shield because it doesn't use the stack.
All right, Merciless Hunter is going to go down here. Group Shot also available to clear some more things off the board. And this could potentially be a very wide attack here for Szchu. We also have the stun landmark, right? We have the Minefield in hand.
Yeah. I don't think you want to play the stun landmark here unless you are trying to not attack and just bait the Sandstone Soldier out of Gamebreaker. So instead, we're just going to go in with the Lobing Telescope and no blocks, actually.
Yeah, wants to keep those units around. And we've talked before about in the Sivir deck how valuable those units are, especially if you do have a handful of spells. Pokey Stick, huge here. It's actually a really big pickup late in the game to get rid of. Oh, and another Pokey Stick.
This sounds so sarcastic. But just run the Pokey Sticks out.
This is great. Those are two perfect back-to-back.
That Szchu didn't take the pass that Gamebreaker offered, but we're going to continue to go wide with the Lobing Telescope, see what we can find. We are still missing both Demacia and Piltover and Zon, but I don't think you want to play Karina Varaza.
We saw Karina earlier do a whole lot of nothing. So
correctly predicting the Karina hit with 0 spells in the Plunder deck.
Would have never guessed. Trickster, and we're gonna go with the Yordle Ranger. I mean, it's a big beefy unit, so it's not terrible.
Oh, are we gonna go for the Buster Shot? I feel like we kind of want to hang on to Buster Shot as a way to pop Spell Shield for the mini morph, but it looks like we're just trying to set up for a lethal open attack.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, this just pressures lethal 100%, and when we have the Minefield, I mean, I kind of makes sense. Even if there's 2 units that come down, we can go ahead and pressure with the Minefield. And seeing these Sandstone Chargers come out, I think this kind of foreshadows Gamebreaker maybe not having any units that are going to stick. We're just going to try to attack and pressure lethal so that we force out blocks. And yeah, this is going to get the Minefield. We're going to get 1 attack. We might not have any more units on the side of Gamebreaker, which means lethal's going to be incoming. Let's see what do we got?
It looks like a whole lot of nothing. If you had something, surely you would have played it by now. 7 mana going to be floated by Gamebreaker. That's the risk you run into with this deck. And the open attack from Szchu shouldn't have any problem ending the game here. And that is going to be a 2-0 victory. Szchu moving on to day number 2 in the winner's bracket.